What is up, good people? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Monday, May 11th, 2026, and today we're going to find the best SUI trading bot for 2026. So let's look at today's Fear and Greed Index. We've got 52 and an $81,000 Bitcoin. So we're scrolling down here, and the next one we have on the list here at number 21 today is SUI. So we're going to go over to our Bitscap trading platform, and we ran a back test on a grid bot utilizing SUI. Okay, so you can see here we got basically a 16% APY, 15.94 to be exact. And let's look at the settings to see how we got that. So what I did was I went back over to the May 12th area of 2025, and with SUI being a little bit more volatile because it's a newer coin, I guess, than more volatile than some of the other coins we've done. What I did was I measured down 80% and up 80%. So the next thing I did was, of course, I changed the investment to 1,000 here, and then I went down to the grid levels and changed that from 100 down to 50. So in this case, it changed that distance between each one of these limit orders to 4.71%. Okay, and then trailing up is left on. That's on by default. And pump protection anyway. Doesn't matter. I just in the habit of turning it off because of the DCA bots. It makes a difference in the DCA bots where in the grid bot it does not. Okay, so you can see here the 365-day back test. And just to show you that I didn't change anything since we're running that, you can see it still produces a 15.94% APY. And that has a lot of activity on it, obviously, with all these red and green dots. So each one of these red dots is a sell, and each one of these red dots, in this case, with this $1,000 bot with these settings, pays you $1. So that's pretty nice. And especially after that pop yesterday. So let's look at a DCA bot that I've got set up on, or ran a backtest for anyway, on SUI. And you can see here, I did beat the APY of the grid bot with a 24.89% APY. And I have the continuation here. So just recently, like I said, it popped. So it took some profit here and reset itself. So we have the continuation with these limit orders here. But the thing that I do not like to see, it's only the third thing I look at. Obviously, the first thing I look at is the APY. Then I like to see the continuation. But then the third thing I like to see is I like to see more activity than this. So we went from February 2nd to May 11th without seeing any activity on this DCA bot. And before that, the longest time was November to January, late November to early January. But still, I don't like to see more than a couple weeks of inactivity with these bots. But if you liked SUI, you could set up a DCA bot with the settings I'm going to show you here real quick, and also that grid bot. So you can have, you know, 16% is better than you're going to get with any staking platform of any uh, good reputation anyway. I don't think I've seen anything that'll give you that much. But and if that's the case, who knows if they pay you in SUI? And at that point, SUI, dang, excuse me, has dropped 70%. So it's gonna, I don't know how those staking platforms work, but you're not gonna get anywhere near this return with any of those platforms. So you can set up your DCA bot and your grid bot both on SUI on Coinbase and bring in a pretty healthy return. So I could safely say that the DCA bot is going to be the best, um, at least for APY, best SUI trading bot for 2026. So let's take a look at these settings here real quick. I've got Coinbase as the exchange, SUI and USDC as the pair. Usually I do my grid bot on the least liquid pairing, but we only have two options here. And this, of course, is a DCA bot, but you can see if I go back to the grid bot, it's on USDC also. But anyway, back to the DCA bot here, we have an investment of 1,000. And then we go down to our bot settings, 3125 as our base order amount, 968.75 as the averaging orders amount, 5 averaging orders quantity gives me the number 5 limit orders here. And the distance between those for this bot is 8%. Okay. And then I slide my amount multiplier all the way to X2. That doubles each limit order line. And I take my step multiplier and turn that off. Then I go down to my take profit and stop loss. And I'm not using a stop loss. That's off by default. But I will change my price change percentage here to 5%. So every time it gets 5% above your dollar cost average, it's going to take profit. And then here I'll turn off my pump and dump protection. So I'm going to just, for shits and giggles, run a back test with that on, because I turn that off because most of the time it will actually produce a lower return. And this is an example of where it does produce a lower return, turning that on. So turning it back off, no other changes. We're looking at a 24.89%. So if you had a conviction of SUI and didn't mind not seeing any activity on this bot over the last 3 months. Yeah, February, March, April, May, 4 months of no activity. So, you're just buying and holding at that point. But that's what most people do anyway. So they would have maybe bought 1,000 back here, and they would only have $300 worth of SUI at the time. Setting up the spot with $1,000, you basically have $1,000 it's working with still, plus 248 in your USDC wallet. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you have a favorite coin, even if I've covered it, I'll go ahead and leave that in the comments and I'll run some bots for you. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.